and welcome to this week's Mondays with Madison. This week I am super excited. We're joined by Jordan Windle, a diver on the UT men's diving team, and we're just going to dive into his childhood and his diving career, so make sure you stay tuned. Before we get started, why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Jordan Windle. I'm a diver for the men's swimming and diving team at the University of Texas. I'm a senior and I'm studying physical culture and sport. I want to be a coach in the future.
Awesome. And before we jump into your diving career and talking about everything that you've done with diving and all of that, why don't you tell us a little bit about your story?
Yeah, so I started diving when I was 7 years old. I was actually adopted when I was 18 months from Cambodia by a single gay man. And, diving just ended up being something that was just natural. And I loved it from the beginning. And it's all started in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And from then on, it just started to progress.
And Longhorn Network actually did a great segment on Jordan, so I will link that in the description. So make sure you all check that one out. So like you said, you started diving in Florida, and that was the summer after your second grade year. So what do you remember about your first time on the diving board?
The memories that I have back then were very scary. Obviously, having to throw myself off of, a 3-story building pretty much. But, you had to start from somewhere. And I had just wanted to build up my courage in the sport. I met a lot of friendly people and a lot of different people as well, which helped me mature really early. And I just ended up loving the sport really fast. And
just 2 years after you started diving, you won a junior national championship title on the 1-meter springboard, and then got invited to train at the National Training Center in Indianapolis, where you guys picked it up and moved all the way there when you were just 11. So 6 months later, you qualified for the Olympic trials and were the youngest player to do so for the men's team at that point. So describe that experience for us.
That was breathtaking. So I qualified at the age of 12 for my first Olympic trials. And at the time, so in diving, you have what's called a FINA birthday if you have a bad birthday, so like November and onwards. And so when I qualified at 12, I actually dove at the Olympic trials at 13. But since my FINA age was 14, I was able to actually compete at the Olympics if I qualified.
Wow.
So I competed when I was 13 at the trials, and we just kind of went from there, and it's been great ever since.
That's an incredible experience. And do you have any coaches that specifically shaped you and helped you become the diver that you were at that point?
Yeah, I've been with so many coaches over the years. Like Evan Lynette was one of my very first coaches. He taught me the very basics, but obviously throughout the years, I ended up being with Matt Scoggin, the head coach at the University of Texas. And, he's changed everything about my diving and how I should see it and, how I should see myself. And I think I've grown in the sport a lot, and we're still moving forward.
Now transitioning into your time at Texas, when you were just a freshman, you set NCAA, Big 12, and UT records at the Big 12 championships. So that's just one of many victories that you had as a freshman. So describe your experience of beginning to dive at Texas.
Right away, I was exhilarated. Being able to dive with some of the best in the country, men and women, and having a coach that went to the Olympics himself. I aspire to be someone just like him. And from the beginning, I started to take a really big leap into how my training should improve. And, it started to show during competitions and stuff. And, it just made everything work out and for the better.
Continuing on your sophomore and junior year, you continued to win Big 12 championships and set NCAA records like the 3-meter springboard and the 10-meter platform. So what went into training to continue to get better and break these records?
The main focus for me at the time, and even now, is just staying consistent. Just because in this sport, I guess in most sports, it's just a one and done. And at the beginning of my freshman year and even beforehand, I had trouble staying consistent and staying positive during competitions. And that was something I really had to focus on, and I talked to Matt about. And as the years went on through college, it started to improve dramatically, and my outlook on the sport and how I see myself in the future just improved. So from then on, just started going up.
That's amazing. And we are filming this on March 4th, which is a Thursday. And as of March 3rd, yesterday, you won 3 Big 12 championships, as that is?
Yes.
1 meter springboard, 3 meter springboard, and the platform dive.
Yes.
So how was that meet? And describe this most recent Big 12 for us.
I mean, this one was definitely very different in comparison to the other ones, purely because of COVID that's going around right now. Not any fans could show up. Even our teammates, we had to keep it down to the bare minimum just to be safe. And I mean, the atmosphere itself was very different. It was very quiet. So we had to find ways to kind of uplift our spirits and stay positive within the moment. But I mean, the whole team in itself did an amazing job. Everyone competed, and a lot of them hit their personal best, which was awesome. And we've had, some amazing freshmen come in, and me being a senior, I mean, they're pushing me to the point to where I'm stressing during competitions.
Right.
And that's amazing, just showing how the school can recruit amazing athletes like this. And overall, I mean, it was an amazing experience, and to be able to get 3 first place finishes, was more than I can ask for.
Not only 3 first place finishes this time, but you're the first Big 12 diver, I believe, to win 4 consecutive Big 12 championships from the platform. So that's just amazing.
Thank you.
Like you said, you are a senior, and your career at Texas has been amazing. There's so much of his diving career that we didn't even cover. But as you look down the line at your future in diving, what are your goals that you have for yourself?
So right now, I have to go to Tokyo for World Cup. I re-qualified for that. So I'll be leaving in a month or so. I know, I'm really excited to be able to represent the U.S. And then right after that, we have Olympic trials. That got pushed back from when it was supposed to be. So everyone's currently just training to get back into shape and get ready for this. And then hopefully, if that goes well, the Olympics in Tokyo as well. And we're all just trying to assume that it's going to stay, and COVID's not going to push anything back, but we're keeping a positive mindset, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I'm saying my prayers for all you athletes that the Olympics still happens.
Thank you.
You have already represented the U.S. in multiple events. You are a 2-time World Championship qualifier. So, like you said, with Tokyo coming up, how is the process of training and mentally preparing, and is it different than anything that you've done at Texas or in prior years?
I think it varies a little bit depending on the athlete themselves. For me, I think it is a little different just because the atmosphere when you're competing internationally is different. I mean, you're competing against people that are the best in the world, and you don't see them training, you don't compete against them every day. So, it's a big change for you. And I mean, it is nerve-wracking to stand in front of everyone like that. So, I mean, just trying to stay positive and just trying to stay healthy is the biggest thing for me. I haven't had the best outcome with injuries, traveling internationally, but, I've been working really hard, keeping my strength up, and I haven't had too many injuries this year, and diving's going well, so, we'll go from there.
Before you leave for Tokyo, like you mentioned, you still have a little bit of your senior season left, so why don't you describe that for us and what's going to happen for the rest of these next couple months and your goals for that?
Of course. Coming up, we actually leave Monday for our zone competition, which is the qualification for the NCAAs. And unlike swimming, zones is the only meet that you can actually qualify. While for swimming, any dual meet or any collegiate competition they can qualify by getting certain times. And since COVID is going on, we have to hit a certain score. And they take whoever's the top, and it's even a smaller portion than what it used to be before COVID happened. Wow. And it's going to be a stressful event, but the team's going to do great, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I wish you guys the best of luck with that. That's going to be so fun to watch and follow.
Thank you.
Now diving into our person behind the athlete, we are going to learn more about Jordan. So you wrote a book with your dad. So why don't you tell us about that experience and how that has played out in your life?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I could only fall asleep to my dad telling me stories, and he would always, and this is corny, but he would always tell me a story about the Prince of Cambodia, and he would base it off me, so I'd be the prince, and he'd just, make it up every night.
I love that.
But after a while, I would get bored of the same story over and over, so he decided to have both of us share a part of what we want the story to be. And what it turned out to be was the book that my dad and I wrote, which is An Orphan No More, A True Story of a Boy, which is based off of not just me, but of us. And, throughout the years, this book kind of just shares, what my dad and I, the journey that we went through of being different. And, my dad being white, being gay, and me being adopted, I had a tough childhood. I was bullied for all the differences that my family has had. And this book is purely just to share that no matter who you are or, your background, there are people out there that love you no matter what. And, I used to read this book to a lot of elementary schools online, and I'd go into person. And, it's one of my biggest accomplishments that I was able to do with my dad, even past my diving. So I'm really happy I was able to do it.
What an amazing experience and such a cool story. I bet that inspired so many kids.
I hope so.
Jordan, thank you so much for being on Mondays with Madison. I have loved having you. One of the best people I have ever met with the coolest story. So make sure you guys go check out that Longhorn Network video that I will link down below. So make sure you like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel for new videos every other Monday. So with that being said, I'll see you next video. See you later, sports fans. I forgot that I have to flip the page. It's like a little salute and just see you later, sports fans.
Okay. I hope I don't mess this up.
Oh, you'll be great. No, that was good. That was great. Normally